Hello and welcome back to Stop and Go F1, everyone's favourite F1 YouTube channel. The last time I spoke to you, it was just after the Red Bull launch, and I don't know if you could tell in the video, but I wasn't particularly feeling very well. That wasn't helped by the awful Red Bull launch, which I think would give anyone an illness, even if they didn't have one before. But now, I'm not 100%, but I'm feeling a lot better. I've got my Pudding Enjoyment Noises t-shirt on, and I think it's time to go over some stuff that I feel I didn't touch on enough in the video because I wasn't really thinking straight, as I wasn't very well. Now, I could talk about skiing, or skateboarding, or fencing, which is the things that Red Bull wanted to focus on the most in their F1 launch, or I could talk about Red Bull Ford. And maybe we'll talk about skiing and fencing and skateboarding later, but we're touching on Red Bull Ford for now, the brand new engine supplier coming to Formula 1 in 2026. Now, this, for me, obviously, huge deal for Red Bull, just a massive coup there. Well done to them. Probably a lot of money coming into them there. And also it's great for Ford. As we all know, F1's this emerging market in the US. Ford is a huge US name. It's beneficial for everyone. Well done. Now, here comes the questions I have about the 2026 engines. Because we are supposedly going to have 12 teams. We currently have 10. F1 have said they're open to 2 more. The rumour mill would suggest that one of the 2 will be the Andretti Cadillac Motorsport team, and the second team is the team I'm calling Mystery Team, because I haven't got a clue who it's going to be. I thought initially Ford were coming back to make their own team, but it doesn't seem like that's a thing at the minute, unless it becomes it, but we're calling them Mystery Team for now. So there'll be 12 teams and 6 engine manufacturers, which is mad. The 6 are Red Bull, Ford, Ferrari, Mercedes, Renault, Audi, and Honda. Now, if you have forgotten that Honda are supplying engines for 2026, don't worry, I doubt you're the only one. Of course, Honda left the sport at the end of 2021 when Max became champion, because Honda like to leave just as the going gets good. That's what they like to do. Halfway through the 2022 season, they realised, bugger, we had a really good thing here, let's come back. And they've been slapped on the side of the Red Bull car. They then announced that they're coming back full force 2026. Honda engines are back, baby. And I imagine the people in Honda HQ thought, well, we're back, we'll just go with Red Bull, yes? And Red Bull go, oh, no, sorry, actually, we're now going with Ford. So we have Red Bull Powertrains, Ford, and we have Honda, which is a madness. So what I have done, you better get excited for this, because I have made a spreadsheet. Yes, here we are. So here are the teams in the order of the Constructors' Championship last year. Here is their current engine supplier, when that contract ends, and who they're with for 2026. So, for example, Red Bull, currently with Red Bull Powertrains, there is no end to that contract because they're the same, and for 2026 they've got Ford. Same with Ferrari, they're staying the same, Mercedes staying the same, and Alpine staying the same. The only other ones we are aware of is, of course, AlphaTauri, as the sister team of Red Bull, will be going to Red Bull Ford, and Alfa Romeo will leave Ferrari in 2025 and will go to Audi. So what we're doing in this video here is some predictions of the remaining teams. Where will this all fit in? Because so far every engine available has been taken apart from that elusive Honda. So let's start with McLaren. Currently being serviced by Mercedes. They have a contract with Mercedes until 2024, which is what I could find online, which is very strange because I would think it would go to 2025. So I wouldn't be surprised if maybe they extend the Mercedes contract to 2025, but then leave for 2026. But who would McLaren go with? They won't be going with Ferrari because that would be a ridiculousness. They won't be going with Red Bull. I doubt they'd go to Renault. My prediction for McLaren is that we see the return of McLaren Honda. Third time lucky. The reason for this is, as much as the Mercedes engines are doing well for McLaren now, because it seems like the Mercedes engines are the most reliable on the grid. I mean, the Red Bull Powertrains were pretty reliable last year, apart from it was Bahrain and Australia last year where they had the engine issues, but apparently that was an FIA part and not a Red Bull part. So if you don't count that, they're equally as sustainable, but it seems like I would say at the minute Mercedes engine is the most sustainable. But I think Honda are going to be looking at this grid going, where on earth do we fit in here? We can't invest all this money in making a 2026 engine and not have a bloody team. So I would not be surprised if they went back to McLaren. And hopefully we would see a McLaren Honda of the Senna Prost days and not the McLaren Honda of the Alonso Button days. Because as someone who likes McLaren quite a bit, I do not want to see that again. Now, Aston Martin is our next one here, or as Lawrence Stroll would say, Aston Martin, because he can't pronounce the name of his own company. Currently with Mercedes, of course, I wasn't able to find where their contract runs out. That's apparently not a thing that is general knowledge, but I imagine it's 2025. They won't have a lifetime deal with Mercedes, although Mercedes have supplied engines to that team since 2009, when they were born, when Honda pulled out just before they would become champions. Well, that reminds me of something else of Honda, but that's a story for a different time. So Aston Martin is a very, very interesting one, because I think they've got something good with Mercedes here. They're doing reasonably well. Fernando Alonso will finally have the Mercedes engines he's always dreamed of in the 2023 season. So will they keep Mercedes in 2026? I think no, because I think there's another twist in the tail of the 2026 engine supplier story, and I think that we will have 7 engine manufacturers, because I think Aston Martin's engine will be an Aston Martin engine. I don't know why there's a slash there. Let's get rid of that slash and put a capital M. Come on, there we go. There's stories all over the place at the minute about Aston Martin. There was a story ages ago where Lawrence Stroll said, no, we're definitely not going to do it. Mike Crack, the man with the best name, has said, oh, maybe we should take a look at it. They're building this brand new factory with its brand new wind tunnels and brand new everything. I would not be surprised if at some point this year Aston Martin announce Aston Martin engines. And I think we'll see that in 2026. Haas, currently with Ferrari, unknown when that contract will end, but they have been with Ferrari their entire life. So when it comes to 2026, I think if I was to go and try and make a hot take, I would say Haas go to Red Bull Ford, because then Haas would be an American team with an American engine supplier, and Americans might like that. But I think Haas are a team that sometimes like to sit in a comfortable chair, which is why they kept Romain Grosjean for so many years, and which is why they've hired Nico Hülkenberg. It's the comfortable option. They don't like to take risks at Haas, and for that reason, they will have a Ferrari engine for 2026. Now, here is a difficult one. Williams, Mercedes. Contract ends 2025. What are they going to do for 2026? Now, Williams, I think, are a team which is so difficult to predict what they're going to do because, even within Williams, I don't think they even knew who their team principal was going to be until the day they announced it this year. It looks like Porsche may be getting involved in Williams, so who even knows if the Williams team will even be here in 2026. It may be the Porsche team. And for that reason, I just struggle a bit too much to decide what's going to go on here, so I'm just going to stick safe with them and say they'll stick with Mercedes. Now we come to Andretti Cadillac Formula One team, which isn't in existence yet, but probably will be by 2026. Now, the rumours going round at the minute is that there are only 2 teams who have signed a petition to say Andretti are cool or whatever. I don't really know how that works, but one of them is Alpine, which has led people to believe that Andretti already has a deal with Renault. So we'll have Andretti, Cadillac, Renault Formula One team for 2026. And then the final team on the grid, Mystery Team. Ooh. We don't even know what this team is. So how the hell am I supposed to predict what engine they'll go for? Let's give them a Honda. They'll like that. There we go. So that is my predictions for the 2026 engine suppliers. Let's cut back. Now, there we go. There we go. So that is what I have there. Give me your own thoughts in the comments. As you can see, I'm getting better. My next video will be tomorrow, as it is the launch of the Williams. So that should be a lot of fun. I'll see you then. But until then, goodbye.